What's going on, everybody? It's Sega Man back here with another video, and I just want to say that we had a great show last night on the Exile podcast talking about retro games, and I showed a retro system, two actually. I showed the Sega Master System 2 in box, and also showed the old school Intellivision in box. Very vintage system, still plays today, but it's just part of retro lore out there. If you're a collector, you like to try to find these old systems in working condition, like Ataris and the Intellivisions, and I even have an Odyssey 2 in the box, and it still works today with a slew of games. I actually hooked it up one time when I had an old school HD TV. I actually hooked it up through there on a 50-inch HD TV, and it played. Now, it didn't look, it's not going to look like our games today, but back then, that was the best thing going. The Odyssey, systems like the ColecoVision and the Intellivision. Yes, the sprites and, the little blocky characters, but we were just excited as gamers, as when we, in our childhood, to play and have those systems. And we really enjoyed them. And believe it or not, back in those days, like games like Pitfall, we played for hours on the Atari 2600, Donkey Kong on the ColecoVision, different games like that. We just had so much fun, playing those games. Space Invaders, another one we played for hours on end. Just a whole bunch of games. I remember me and my cousin JR. I have an Atari 5200, and he had a 7800 hooked up, a 2600, and a 5200. And me and him and a couple of my other family members would just go back and forth playing the different games on the different systems all day, just playing. There was a game called, I think it was called Mappy, I think, that was on there. Jungle Hunt, different games like that. You know what I mean? And we just had so much fun playing those. Astro Smash, great game. I love that game. Very addicted to that. Just great fun. You know what I mean? We had so much fun playing those OG retro systems, and I still own them today. But what I want to talk about today is almost at the end of our show on the Exile podcast. Shout out to 100 for coming on the show and doing the show with us, and He-Bot and T-Reaper. We had a great time last night talking about retro gaming and just games in general. But near the end of the show, my brother E-Rock X showed some of his Dreamcast magazines that he still owns. You know what I mean? So what I'm going to do today, because he inspired me to do this, I'm going to show you some of the Dreamcast magazines that I still own, and also an old school Sega magazine. So let's get into it. But first, what I'm going to show you, and I think I might have showed you guys this before the Sega Dreamcast came out, you can go into Toys R Us and pre-order the system, check out what games were coming. But when you got into the store, there was a store attendant that was waiting at the door, and she handed out these official preview guides, and I still have my official preview guide before the Sega Dreamcast came out, and this is what it looks like here. This is the official, Sega Dreamcast preview guide. All right, and inside here it would show you different games that would come out. Like it would tell you it's a 128-bit console, 3D graphics, the Hitachi SH4, and it would give you a description of what the Dreamcast looks like and what the Dreamcast is about. And it would just go through and show you just different things, different games that were coming out for the system. Sonic Adventure, very, very well done artwork inside here in this magazine. This is always fun to go back and actually read again. You know what I mean? And it showed games like today that are hard to get, that are very expensive. Like my friend found Power Stone 1 and 2 for me, okay? They weren't the originals. They're way too expensive to get. But they were really good, like ports are like kind of like homebrew with artwork with it, even on the disc itself, not taped on there. The sticker was actually made into the CD, and I don't know. Shouts out to my good trade brother. I traded games with Sire649. You know what I mean? I still talk to him today. He's doing great things, loving his job. But he will always be one of my best friends out here in these gaming streets. And he found me Power Stone 1 and 2, and I tried them on my Dreamcast. They worked perfect, and I enjoyed them. But, they would show, like, the Power Stone and what the game is about in the magazine. And I mean, these were great fighting games. In my opinion, they really need to bring these games back. Like, it would be awesome to see a new version on this on the Xbox One X or the Xbox Series X. It would really be great to see these games come back. You know what I mean? Or on any system. If you have your PlayStation, or anything like that, people might want to enjoy these games also on them systems. But it's a great game. You know what I mean? You got Capcom, Marvel versus Capcom in here. You know what I mean? And it just had different types of advertisement in here. You know what I mean? It would talk about Air Force Delta. That was a flying game that came out for it. Midway games in here. This was a great game actually in the arcades, which is NFL 2000 Blitz. That was a great game back in the day, and I used to play that. And there was a local bar I used to go to, and I would play that for a while. But that was a great game back in the day, and it actually looked just like it did in the arcade. They had an advertisement here for Mortal Kombat Gold. That's one of the games my mom bought me a long time ago, brand new. Then I mean, a lot of people didn't really like Mortal Kombat Gold, but it was pretty good in my opinion. For that time and era, I thought it was pretty good. It was a little bit fast paced. Yes, it was a little bit choppy in the way the graphics look, but you got to remember, I mean, to me, they tried and did the best they can to make a Mortal Kombat version for the Sega Dreamcast. You know what I mean? And I still own and play that game today. And this is one of the best games ever. Very well done, very funny game. It is ready to rumble boxing, and I have ready to rumble boxing, and I have round two, and that was just another great, funny boxing game with different characters in it. And if I believe right, I think the dude with the afro, I think the dude that voiced it, his voice was Chris Rock. Now I'm not sure, but I think it was Chris Rock that actually did his voice. But if you go back and you get round two on a Dreamcast, which is the best version, there's Shaq in there. He does the voice. There is what's his name in there? The president, the old president. What's his name? Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton. Michael Jackson was in there. It was just awesome game to play. The round two of that. And just different things. Great, awesome game. Still holding up today. Hydro Thunder on the Sega Dreamcast is one of the best games ever on there. You know what I mean? So just gives you an idea of the games that were coming out for it. You know what I mean, but it is great to go back and actually go through this and read this, man, and still have this. You know what I mean? I was so excited when I got this. You know what I mean? And I was so excited for the Dreamcast at the time. You know. Let's look at some Dreamcast magazines actually. This one was from April of 2001, and it is Spider-Man. Wow, Spider-Man on a Dreamcast, right? So that still in great condition. You know what I mean? These magazines were great. You know what I mean? They would just talk about upcoming games, the tech that had that was in the Dreamcast. Different games that were coming out like Lara Croft. The Lara Croft games, and just all type of different things that had to pertain to Dreamcast in here. And they were just awesome magazines. And it is always a good to go back, and if you want to get some knowledge, okay, if you're a true gamer out there and you want to be a collector and you want to get some knowledge, try to find some of these old Dreamcast magazines or Game Pro or anything like that. and you will see and know more about the game if you go and research them. You know what I mean? If you want to do that, but they were great games. You know what I mean? Like Daytona USA, that's in here. Just all type of different things in the Dreamcast magazines were so awesome to read. Now this one is a great one to collect for magazine. This is from February 2001, and it is Fantasy Star Online. That's the Fantasy Star Online Sega Dreamcast magazine. It was pretty good, pretty awesome magazine, and then sometimes it would go back and talk about retro games that were in here, like Streets of Rage, from the Sega Genesis, and just different types of things in here. You know what I mean? Typing of the Dead. You know, just great articles from the developers and everything in here. Really good magazine. We have one here. This was issue 3, January of 2000. This is as Dead or Alive on the front of it. Still in great condition. Dead or Alive 2, like we were talking about in the podcast last night, was actually a better and played better and was a better version on the Dreamcast than the PlayStation 2. I own both. I've played both. The PlayStation 2 version of Dead or Alive um, on there, Dead or Alive 2, it's not bad. Okay, it's not. It's not bad. I'm not saying that. But the best version, believe it or not, is on the Sega Dreamcast. It's just way better. It plays better. It's more fluent. It's better graphically. It was just made and better and well done more for the Sega Dreamcast than the PlayStation 2. That's not to say or take anything away from it. You know what I mean? The PlayStation 2 version's good, but it's not better than the Dreamcast version. It just isn't. But this is the magazine, talking about the game and when it was coming out, different things like that, just all kind of things like Survival Guide for Christmas Day, you know what I mean? Showing you all kind of games and you see the two dudes there playing. It was just so happy to read these and have these magazines, man. And that's why I kept some of them. You know what I mean? Another one here is issue 7, September, October 2000, with Tony Hawk on the front of it. They had really great artwork when it comes to some of these magazines. You know what I mean? Just great stuff. You know what I mean? Games that come like the game Vanishing Point was a good racing game. Now that also came out, I think, for the PlayStation 1. But that was a great racing game, and I own it on the Sega Dreamcast. But like I said, it was great. You know what I mean? Now, this is a magazine, and this game, broke records. A lot of people talked about this game, which is great. I finished this game on the Sega Dreamcast. I still owned it. It came with a lot of discs that came with it, and it took a lot of money and time to develop and make this game. And some of you know what game I'm talking about. This is November 2000, issue 8, and it is Shamu. Shamu on the Sega Dreamcast still today holds up. It is one of the best games you can own and play on the Sega Dreamcast. So if you ever want to get into collecting for Dreamcast, you must own Shamu. It was a great, awesome game on the Sega Dreamcast, and it's worth even going back actually playing it again. But it was a great, what I mean. It was a great, great game. And like I said, the art style and stuff in these magazines were great. And some of them even kind of still smell new. I keep them up in plastic. You know what I mean? I keep them up and keep them in good condition out of wet areas. You know what I mean? Marvel versus Capcom 2. Look at that artwork. Marvel versus Capcom 2. The best version is on the Dreamcast. I own the version for the original OG Xbox. That is good, but the best version of that game, to be honest with you guys, is on the Dreamcast. That's a must-own fighting game. You must get. It's kind of expensive, but it's a must-own game you must get for your Sega Dreamcast, man. Another one that made a great groundbreaking in gaming. One of the first shell-shaded games. This was issue 6, July and August of 2000 as Jet Set Radio. Another great game that was on the Sega Dreamcast. A must-own game if you can find it for the Sega Dreamcast. Beautiful artwork on the front of the magazine. You know what I mean? Just great. Uh, it's a great game, and you can also get a version of it on your backward compat on the 360. I actually have it on 360 for to play on your Xbox One X, or your Xbox. But it was another great game that a lot of people had fun with. One of the first shell shaded games. And this one here is actually has Unreal Tournament on it, and this is issue 9, 2000 of December. It's another nice Dreamcast magazine to have. Like I said, great artwork. It's always fun to read these. Now we have another one here. It's from issue 10, Holiday 2000. It's the best stuff ever. Grandia 2 was on the front of this, and it is. I keep my magazines in very, very good condition. You know what I mean? But just for what was going on at that time period, games, reviews, different things like that. And last but not least, the one I have here is from March of 2000. Okay, and this magazine also has a great, great cover on it. You know what I mean? And just it just brings back so much memories. The Sega Dreamcast. You know what I mean? But like inside here, it has like different color controllers you could get. You know, back in the day. And on the front of the cover is Space Channel 5. It's a great, great game to play. Kind of like a dance game. And there was even a version, I think, where you can unlock Michael Jackson and have him in the game. So that's all the Dreamcast magazines I have. But before we end this video, I want to show you. This is a very old magazine. It's pretty beat up. You guys know I'm a diehard collector of Sega. That's why I'm Sega Man. And I kept this magazine for a long time. This is a magazine from May of 1995, and it is a magazine that they brought out called Sega Visions, and it has a little Saturn thing on it. That's all. It's ripped down here a little bit. The Sega Visions was a great Sega magazine, and it has it shows the Saturn spinning on there, you know, in there, and just great stuff in this magazine, man, that you can know about. Look at that little commercial, little advertisement for the 32X. 32X was a great system. I own it. You know what I mean? Just great stuff. You know what I'm saying? It just talks about different games that were coming out for the Sega Saturn. You know what I mean? Gives you some idea of like they had role playing games in here. You know what I mean? Let's see if we can find something real quick here, like Virtual Cop. Just all kind of stuff, man. It still did advertising for the Sega Genesis because I don't. The Sega Genesis was still thriving back then. But Sega Visions magazines, man, they're really good to collect for if you can find more of them. You know what I mean? But they just had really weird, different, funny art. When it comes to advertising peripherals for the system. But it's just a great magazine to keep, and have. You know what I mean? So that's why I kept it. You know what I mean? But still great today. But I just wanted to do that for you guys real quick and just show you some of my Dreamcast magazines and what I and Sega Visions. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm really having fun with, let me show you guys this real quick. I'll hook it up real quick and then I'm going to end this video. I'm not going to actually turn it on, because I'm still charging my phone. I want to show you guys something. Me and 100 were talking about this earlier, a couple days ago. But I got my clip. I got my clip for the XCloud. This is the clip right here. I'm having a lot of fun with the XCloud and playing my games on my phone, man. It's great. It is. It's great. It's awesome. Playing on here. When it's hooked to 5G, it's just so awesome. I was just playing earlier, playing some Gears 5 on here. Last night I was playing Gears 5. I was playing Forza Horizon 4. It's great, man. And this clip only costs like $8. It has a stand with it so it can stand up, and it's just great fun. It's just awesome to have this. Microsoft is doing great things for their fan base and for the consumer. They just are. If you're not an Ultimate Game Pass fan or have Game Pass Ultimate, you're really missing out, man, because it's great to take on trips with you. You know what I mean? You don't have to lug your Xbox One X. Even if you don't want to take your laptop, you can use your phone and play all these great games, and it works very well. Okay, I'm not saying it's fantastic. Okay, yes, there's a little bit of hiccups in some of the games, but for the most part, it works very well, very fluent gameplay. It feels good in your hands with this clip. It is awesome. So, if you're not invested and you're an Xbox fan and consumer and love Xbox, you need to invest in this, man. It's just great for you as being a true gamer uh, for the Xbox and the community. It's just, it's great to have, man. So, you guys take care. I'll be back with another video soon. 100 is going to have a new podcast coming up. It'll be debuting Saturday. I believe it's called Xbox Has No Games Podcast, and that's great. With 100 Thorn, my brother, you know what I mean? I think it'll be him, Flip Money, Livewire, I believe, a few other guests, and he's gonna have you know people that are even in the comment section that want to come in and maybe express their opinions about gaming and gaming news. It's a new and different type of podcast, and I congratulate him for doing this podcast. You know what I mean? Because it's something different. We're ex we're Xbox fans that are trying to bring something different, to the gaming community. So hats off to him. Hats off to all my brothers at the in the Exile podcast. Hats off to New Legal and the General Johnson with Direct Gaming, Intro Media Gaming. We're just we're doing something out here in these gaming streets, man, and we're thinking of new things to do, in the Xbox community and even grow more. So check out those podcasts, check out those channels, check us out. True Xbox gamers um, doing podcasts. You know what I mean? Check us out. You know what I mean? Everything is not scripted. Everything in these videos comes from you is raw. It's not scripted. You know what I mean? You say how you feel. You don't have to read from something or you know what I mean or anything like that. You know what I mean? This is something different that we're bringing to the table. We hope you guys enjoy. You know what I mean? Check out the Exile podcast. We just did another giveaway. I think it was 3 months of I think it was 3 months of Game Pass Ultimate. I think that E-Rock was giving away. You know what I mean? So I think we're going to be doing that like every 2 weeks, giving away something on our podcast. So check us out, guys. You guys take care, all right? Xbox for life, like my wife. Peace, and welcome to the X.